Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Chill English Talks. I'm Edward, and today I'm here with Marie again.
Hey everyone. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I almost wasn't ready for this. I was literally sitting here 5 minutes ago eating a granola bar and trying to remember my own name. Monday energy, you know?
That is very on brand for you, Marie.
It really is. I'm a mess, but I'm a consistent mess, and that's what matters.
That's honestly a life philosophy right there. But okay, so your granola bar moment actually made me think of something. You know that feeling when someone asks you, "So, tell me about yourself," and your brain just goes completely blank?
Oh, 100%. It's like I have a whole personality, I have opinions, I have stories, and then someone asks me that question, and suddenly I'm like, I like food?
Exactly. And the thing is, this doesn't just happen in English. It happens in your own language too, right?
Right, totally.
But in English, it's like 10 times harder because you're not just trying to find the words, you're also trying to sound natural, sound interesting, and not freeze up all at the same time.
Ugh, yes, it's a lot.
So here's what I want to ask you, and I want you to think about this too if you're listening. When was the last time someone asked you to talk about yourself in English, and did you feel confident doing it, or did you kind of shrink?
Ooh, that's the question, isn't it?
That's the question. And today, we're going to help you answer it out loud in English and without feeling like you want to disappear.
Yes. Okay. I'm actually really excited about this one because talking about yourself is literally the most common thing in English conversation. Job interviews, new friends, first dates, meeting your partner's family for the first time.
All terrifying situations.
All equally terrifying, yes, but they don't have to be. That's the thing. Most people think they're bad at talking about themselves because they don't have interesting things to say, but that's almost never the real problem.
Right. The real problem is usually one of three things. The first one is vocabulary. You know what you want to say, you have thoughts, you have feelings, but you just don't have the words in English yet, so you stay quiet. Not because you're boring, but because you're missing the tools.
And that's honestly the easiest one to fix, by the way. We'll get to that.
The second reason is structure. Even if you have the words, you don't know how to organize your answer. Like, where do I start? Do I talk about my job, my family, my hobbies? Do I say something funny? Do I keep it short? Your brain gets overwhelmed and you just kind of give up mid-sentence.
Oh, I feel this so deeply. I remember one time, this was maybe 3 years ago, I was at a work event, an international one, and a colleague from Canada came up to me and said, "Hey, tell me a little about yourself." And I had prepared for the actual work meeting. I had not prepared for that. I ended up saying something like, "I work in marketing and I have a cat." That was it. That was my self-introduction.
You led with the cat.
I led with the cat, Edward, a grown adult professional woman, the cat.
To be fair, cats are great conversation starters.
She is a great cat, but still, that moment haunts me.
And that's actually the third reason people struggle. Confidence. It's not the English, it's the fear of judgment. You worry that what you say will sound weird or boring or incorrect. And so instead of saying something imperfect, you say almost nothing.
And the worst part is, silence feels safer in the moment, but it actually makes you feel worse afterward. You walk away thinking, why didn't I just say something?
Exactly. So the key idea for this whole episode is this. Talking about yourself in English is a skill, not a talent. You don't have to be born charming or funny or fluent. You just need a few simple tools and a little bit of practice.
And we've got both of those for you today, so let's get into it.
All right, so let's start with the foundation. The first tool is what I like to call the anchor sentence. Think of it like this. Imagine you're on a boat in the middle of the ocean. If you don't drop an anchor, the boat drifts everywhere. You lose direction. You don't know where you are.
I love this metaphor.
An anchor sentence is the one sentence that grounds your self-introduction. It tells people who you are at the most basic level. It's your starting point. And once you have it, everything else connects to it.
So what does that actually look like in practice?
Something simple. I'm from Mexico City, and I work in design. Or, I'm a teacher and I love hiking on weekends. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be true and clear.
Right. And the trick is you prepare this sentence before the conversation. You don't make it up on the spot. It's like having your keys ready before you get to the door.
Exactly. So here's a mini challenge for you right now. While you're listening, try to say your anchor sentence out loud. Just one sentence. I'm, then your name, I'm from somewhere, and I, something you do or love. Say it. Even if no one is listening, just say it.
And say it more than once. Repetition is how it becomes natural. The first time feels weird. The 5th time feels okay. The 20th time, you don't even think about it anymore.
That's a great point. The anchor sentence is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And the stronger it gets, the less you freeze.
Mini summary, your anchor sentence is your starting point. Keep it simple, keep it true, and prepare it before you need it.
Okay, second idea. And Marie, this one is yours to introduce, I think.
Yes. Okay. So the second tool is something I call the story hook. And this one changed everything for me personally. So you have your anchor sentence, great, beautiful, you know who you are. But then what? People want more. They want to connect with you. And connection doesn't come from facts. It comes from stories.
That's so true.
Think of facts like the outside of a house, clean, useful, informative. But a story is like inviting someone inside. That's where the warmth is. That's where the real connection happens.
I love that image.
So, a story hook is just one small, specific detail that opens a conversation. It's not a full life story, it's a door. For example, instead of just saying, I like travel, you say, I once got completely lost in Tokyo at midnight because I followed a dog down the wrong street. Now, someone wants to know more.
Wait, is that a real story?
It is absolutely a real story. The dog looked very confident. He was not going anywhere useful.
This is why you're on this podcast.
I mean, truly. But you see the difference, right? I like travel closes the conversation. The Tokyo dog story opens it. One is a wall, the other is a window.
And the beautiful thing is, your story hook doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be funny. It just has to be real and specific. I remember once I was at a language exchange event in Madrid. This was years ago. And I introduced myself by mentioning that I grew up in a very small town where the most exciting thing was a weekly bingo game at the church.
Weekly bingo.
Weekly bingo. And people laughed, and then 3 different people came up to me afterward saying their town was the same. And suddenly, we had a real conversation going. Not because I was interesting, but because I was specific and honest.
That's it. Specificity is warmth. When you're vague, people can't grab onto what you're saying. But when you say church bingo or a confident dog in Tokyo, they can picture it. They can feel it.
So the story hook works in any situation. Job interviews, new friends, dates. You're not bragging. You're not performing. You're just giving someone something real to hold on to.
Okay, here's a challenge for you. Think of one small, specific moment from your life, something that happened to you. Doesn't matter how small, a funny trip, a strange coincidence, a weird habit, something that is uniquely you. That's your story hook. You don't need to memorize a speech, just have that one moment ready.
Mini summary. A story hook turns a flat introduction into a real conversation. Be specific, be honest, and trust that the small details are actually the most interesting ones. All right, third idea. Talking about what you do without sounding like a robot.
Oh yes, this is a big one.
Okay, so think about how people usually answer the question, what do you do, in English? 90% of the time, the answer is something like, I am an accountant, full stop, silence, end of conversation.
I'm an accountant. Goodbye.
Right, it's like handing someone a business card and then staring at them. Technically informative, socially terrifying.
So what's the alternative?
The alternative is what I call the what plus why formula. You say what you do, and then you add one line about why it matters to you, or how you got into it, or what you love or even hate about it. Just one extra line. That's it.
And it transforms the whole thing. Like instead of I'm an accountant, you could say I'm an accountant. I actually fell into it by accident. I studied something completely different in university. Now there's a story. Now I want to know what you studied.
Exactly. Or you could say, I'm a nurse. Honestly, the hours are brutal, but I love the feeling at the end of a shift when you know you actually helped someone. That's one extra line, but now I know something real about you. Right?
Right, and this works for people who are students too. Don't just say, I'm a student. Say, I'm studying psychology. I got into it because I've always been a little obsessed with why people do the things they do. Instant conversation starter.
What plus why? That's the formula. And here's the thing about this. It also takes pressure off you because you're not trying to impress anyone. You're just sharing something true. And true is always more interesting than impressive.
I want to speak directly to anyone listening who thinks their job or their situation is not interesting enough to talk about in English. I've heard so many people say that. Oh, I'm just a receptionist. I only work in a shop. I'm just at home with my kids right now.
There's no just.
There is no just. Every single life has a story hook. Every job has a what plus why. You don't need to be a CEO or a world traveler to have something worth saying. You just need to be honest.
Mini summary. Use the what plus why formula when you talk about what you do. One extra sentence makes you sound warm, real, and interesting, not because you're showing off, but because you're letting someone in.
Okay, I have one more idea to add before we get to vocabulary, and this one is about what to do when you go blank, when your brain just stops, when English disappears and you're standing there like a loading screen.
The loading screen moment.
We all know the loading screen moment. Okay, so the tool here is what I call thinking out loud phrases. These are short sentences that you say while you're buying time to think. They're completely natural in English, and native speakers use them all the time.
Oh, this is gold. What are some examples?
Things like, that's a good question, let me think. Or, how do I put this? Or, okay, so basically, these phrases do two things at once. They give you time to think, and they signal to the other person that you're engaged, that you're thinking, not panicking.
Because the worst thing you can do in that moment is go silent and look scared. That makes the other person uncomfortable too.
Exactly. But if you say, let me think about that for a second, you look confident, you look thoughtful, even if inside you are absolutely losing it.
Speaking from experience?
I have used that's a really interesting question to survive many situations I was not prepared for.
Honestly, I have a memory of a job interview. This was for a position I really wanted, maybe 6 years ago. And the interviewer asked me, what would you say is your biggest personal challenge? And my brain just evaporated.
I literally heard a kind of silence in my own head. And I said, that's something I've actually been thinking about a lot lately. Give me just a moment. And then I took a breath and answered. And I got the job.
See? That's the power of a thinking out loud phrase. It's not cheating, it's not fake, it's just a bridge between your thought and your words. Everyone needs that bridge sometimes.
And for language learners specifically, this is actually a sign of advanced communication, the ability to manage a conversation even when things get hard. That's real fluency.
So think of thinking out loud phrases like a bridge over a river. Without the bridge, you fall in. With the bridge, you get to the other side. You don't need to swim, you just need to know where the bridge is.
Mini summary. When you go blank, don't panic and don't go silent. Use a thinking out loud phrase to buy yourself time and keep the conversation alive.
Okay, I think it's a good moment to talk about some of the words and phrases we've used today, because there were some really good ones.
Yes, let's do it.
So we've got 5 phrases to go through today. Real, practical English that you can use immediately.
First one, go blank.
Right. Go blank means your mind suddenly becomes empty. You can't think, you can't remember, you can't speak. It usually happens under pressure. For example, I always go blank when someone asks me to introduce myself, Or she went completely blank during the presentation and forgot everything she prepared.
Next, come across.
Come across means the impression or image you give to other people, how you seem to them. For example, I want to come across as confident, not nervous. Or he came across as really friendly even though he was a little shy.
This one is so useful. Okay, third phrase, specific.
Specific means detailed, clear, and about one particular thing, not vague or general. For example, instead of saying, I like food, try to be more specific. Say what kind of food and why. Or, the more specific your story, the more interesting it becomes.
Fourth, anchor.
Anchor, as a verb, means to fix something firmly so it doesn't move or drift. In conversation, your anchor sentence gives you a stable starting point. For example, she anchored her introduction with one clear sentence about her work. Or, if you feel nervous, come back to your anchor, the one sentence you always know.
And our last one, come into it. As in, how did you come into this?
Oh, yes. Come into something, or how did you come into it, means how you started, how you got involved, what brought you to that point. It's a really natural way to ask about someone's background or story. For example, how did you come into teaching? Or, I came into design by accident. I never planned it.
Such a natural phrase. Native speakers use it all the time, but it's one of those things that textbooks kind of skip over.
Exactly. Okay, so here's a little challenge for you. Pick one of those 5 phrases, any one you like, and write your own sentence using it. Drop it in the comments. We genuinely love reading them.
We really do. It's one of our favorite parts. Okay, so let's bring today together. All right, here are the main things we talked about today. First, talking about yourself is a skill. It's not a talent you're born with. Anyone can learn it with the right tools.
Second, start with an anchor sentence. One simple, true sentence that tells people who you are. Know it, practice it, use it.
Third, add a story hook. One specific detail that opens a conversation and lets people connect with the real you.
Fourth, use the what plus why formula when you talk about what you do. What you do plus one honest line about why it matters to you.
And fifth, when you go blank, use thinking out loud phrases. They're your bridge. They keep the conversation moving and they make you sound calm and thoughtful even when you don't feel that way.
And here's the thing I really want to say to anyone who's been feeling stuck with their English lately, especially when it comes to conversations. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need a huge vocabulary or a perfect accent. What people actually remember is how you made them feel. Did you seem warm? Did you share something real? Were you present? That stuff matters so much more than grammar.
That's beautifully said.
I mean it. Learning English isn't about becoming someone else. It's about letting who you already are come through in a new language. And that takes courage. And you are doing it right now, just by listening.
Okay, so your challenge for today, not someday, today. Take 5 minutes, just 5, and write down your anchor sentence, one story hook, and your what plus why. 3 things, 5 minutes. You can do it on your phone, in a notebook, wherever. Just get it out of your head and into words.
And then, if you're feeling brave, say it out loud, even just to yourself, just once. That's the first step.
And tell us in the comments, what is your anchor sentence? We want to hear it, seriously. I'm, name, I'm from, place, and I, tell us. We'll read every single one.
We really will, everyone.
This was Chill English Talks. I'm Edward.
And I'm Marie. Keep it chill, keep growing. See you next time.